Young 6'9".
Rock a block, Rockefeller. Feeling that? Yes, you are. Thank you.
3, 2.
Welcome to this edition of the Smartalecs. It's you know who I am. There's no need for me to even introduce myself. I'm just, I come with no introduction. I just want to get into this episode because I feel like it's going to be crazy. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Are we supposed to say your name?
Right, I didn't know. I was going to say it, then I was going to say, should I say home? I don't know what to say.
I was confused. Did we say the lyric? Did we say your name?
Right, because if we said it was
just
a feeling, man. Right, because I was like, home, Al, double A, aloe, branch.
It's
just a feeling, man. It's just a feeling that it gives you.
Al.
What's that? It's like an Al and the Dynasty.
Aloe.
That's the Illuminati. You gonna be part of the Illuminati? Okay, that's the all-seeing-eye.
We should start over.
Right, let's start over. Let's start with the house.
5, 4, 3.
Why are we starting over? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Oh, since I said the word Illuminati, is that what we started over? No, because you're just...
You need to be angry. No one wants to see this out.
Oh, no. This
What the fuck?
You gonna say he needs to be angry. He's like... Right.
Be who you normally are every fucking Thursday.
Right.
We want to see the veins, the hands, the watch falling off as you shake it. It's...
No, man.
That face. Ready, go.
No, man. Oh, we got him! Go! Start! No, man. Nah, not today, man. Alright.
He had a couple drinks. He's happy out today, y'all.
Alright, start. Johnny Walker Black Label. So no women black. Welcome to this edition of Smartalecs. You know my name is John. I'm the host of Smartalecs, the smartest of all the Smartalecs. The reason why everybody tunes in and shows up is the host, and I'm happy to be that. And I thank you guys for allowing me to host this wonderful show. I bring to you guys a distinguished panel of guests. They're my normal guests, so I guess they're not guests. They're my regulars. You guys have become regulars.
Our show.
You guys have become regulars.
We are the Smartalecs, nigga.
Right.
You couldn't host if we didn't panel.
Right.
Now introduce us.
Right. So with that being said, these jerks are on the panel. We got my man Double A on the side right here. How you doing, brother?
I'm alright, brother. You alright?
Alright, yeah, you good? You ready to get into this discussion? Yeah, I'm living.
Alright,
I'm on.
shut up.
Wow. That's why. Yeah, that's what I want to see. That's
You
what I
got.
see.
You know.
And on the side right here, we got the young professor, the young master, the young master. How you doing, Rob?
Young professor.
I'm all right, man. You feeling good?
I'm hot.
You
I'm
hot?
cool.
You ready to get in this?
I'm ready to get in this heated
Get
debate.
it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. Today's discussion is.
Let's
going
get
to-
it. Ain't that what he
is-
say? Let's get it.
I said today's discussion, not it's kicking.
He's talking about.
Let's
but he
get
did
it. Let's get it.
That's how it's spelled.
Let's get it.
I skeet it. That's what it sounds.
I
like.
skeet it.
That's what
That's what he said.
I don't know.
I
think it's like eskeet or some shit.
That's totally not what we're discussing. So
Let's get it.
let's
Shout
get
out
back
to
to
Lil Pump. They shut that nigga set down in Lollapalooza because niggas were fainting and shit. And they were like,
Was that hot?
it was hot, but he stopped his set to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's known for if something happens, he'll stop what he's doing, get them water, make sure they get out the pit and whatnot. But he was mad because they put him in a small area, knowing he has a large following. So you have 1,000 people at a stage, it's only gonna hold 500. So it was Lollapalooza's fault, and that's what he was saying. But sorry, that was a side topic.
yeah, that was a total sidebar of something that is
You had no
irrelevant.
idea about. Sorry about that.
No, totally. I was like,
He was lost, dazed and
right,
confused.
I was like, should I leave?
He's like,
But,
what? Pump what?
but we're gonna get into this topic. Speaking of little pump. No, I'm just bullshit. This topic is crazy. We're gonna talk about people who are in, let's just say a sexual transition, becoming like who identify as a lady, but they really are a man.
Not the other way.
Or the other way around.
So what are they called?
I
I think they call it the transvestites, right?
I don't know.
I thought that was the
I don't know.
correct
I don't
term.
know what the colloquialism is.
I'm not sure though.
But we
I've
just
never
call
heard
them
it.
Trans.
We'll
Well,
just
I
call
think
them
that's a
trans people in transition.
That's a long fucking thing to say.
transitioning individuals. That's just as long, but it's a little nicer.
Well, transitioners.
Transitionize. If you want to use like plural, just transitionize. Transitionites.
The transitionees.
Transitionites? I thought transitionites.
Transitioner sounds the best.
Okay. What about
Well, like, how do you feel like in the workplace with them? Like, interacting, does it feel weird? Do you feel like, you know, like, what bathroom should they use? How do you approach them? Do you approach them with like a high five? Like
Well, approaching them is I would approach you the way I approach, because I'm no, you know, it's fucked up to say it, but it's 2018. I don't hug. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Men, women know it. Hey, how you doing at work? I'm not very touchy feely, so
I'm not
there is
saying
no
you
way.
go in and
I'm
hug.
saying, but so I would approach them the same way I approach you guys. Hey, what's up? How you doing? If I need to approach them, but
Are you
I
gonna,
think it.
are you gonna look at Dolores? Because I used Dolores because I thought that was like a really general name, but this like one like I thought someone would pick. So like, would you go like to Dolores and be
It's
like?
not about being a woman.
He
He calls himself Dolores.
Well, yeah, cause like, but
Sasha.
like,
Be like Sasha. or
If,
something.
like if you think about like a guy that's like dressed in woman's clothes, I would think like Dolores, cause like in the beard. Like a rough beard,
I
like-
think Mrs. Doubtfire. That's my first.
Okay, we'll say that. Mrs. Doubtfire. So when you go to Mrs. Doubtfire for some staples, we'll say at work, do you look at Mrs. Doubtfire strange, like, hey, Mrs. Doubtfire?
If they are, see, there's a difference between, you know, wanting to be who you are and wanting to be who you are and wanting everyone to see it. I've seen an instance at work where there was an individual, exactly what you're talking about, and nobody would have paid attention if they didn't take that extra step to be noticed. Their hair was outrageous. Like, it didn't matter who had that hair, you would have looked. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're at work and someone walks past you with bright purple hair, like bright purple, you're like, bright purple hair?
I understand.
So I think that no matter what, I think that is distracting. Whether it's a transitioning person or a guy with a bright purple mohawk or a female with bright purple hair, I think that aspect can be distracting.
Let's get double-A.
Come on, man. That's not talking about what we're talking about. We're just talking about fucking hair.
I'm saying so.
Like you said,
What
Go ahead, double-A.
Look fucking
What I'm saying is,
hold on, Rod.
if
Hold
you
on,
see
Rod.
a man with
It's
tits,
Hold on, Rod.
It's
Hold
the
on.
fact that the person who went out of their way to be noticed. That's when I'm like, okay.
but once
you're
again, like I
doing
said,
something.
you got normal people do that every day. Who go out their way to be noticed with mohawks and crazy hair.
Yeah,
But-
that should
Hold
be.
on, wait, hold on.
What you should, in my opinion, what makes them stand out is a man having like titties.
Not, I have titties, so I just
Bro,
don't. I
you're a
just
fat
don't wear.
dude.
I know. I just don't wear
I'm not
dresses
talking
and
about
girl
a fat
clothes.
dude. I'm not talking about
But
a
what
fat
I'm
dude
saying
with
is
titties.
like,
I'm talking about
shit.
a dude that.
But if you're not paying it, my point is, I see so many people at work. I'm not paying attention. I don't even think I pay, unless I know you, I'm not paying you any mind. So if I would have seen somebody with titties, I would have thought it was a girl just out of my periphery looking. But the fact that you want to stand out, now I'm looking at you, and now I'm like, what the fuck? And that's where I think, okay, they should have to tone it down. I don't think they need to be fired or fucking off in solitary, but I think just that aspect as a whole.
Would you
But
think
that,
any
no matter who, that's my point.
Right,
Anyone.
That's them.
I think that's-
We're not talking
anyone.
about anyone. And I feel your point, and he made an excellent point as the young professor, and you know, we definitely understand. But Al, tell him exactly what we're talking about. Al,
Well, my whole thing is this. Like, I understand what you're saying with the flamboyant.
yes,
Somebody
young
being
professor.
flamboyant.
Yes,
Yeah.
young
And
professor.
somebody, you know, you being like, oh, this person is being flamboyant because of, you know, their bright hair, whatever the case may be. But it's different between being flamboyant and then coming into work as a man, that you come in with makeup on, with breasts, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it all depends, I think,
In
too,
high heels.
how far you are in the transitioning phase. If you've switched your
Well,
name
no, we're not talking
legally,
about. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about the other individuals that they're coming to work with. I'm talking about how I'm uncomfortable and how it makes me feel. Same thing with if I go into the bathroom and I'm at the urinal, and you know a woman who is transitioning to a man comes in and you know wants to use the men's room. I may have a problem with that because I'm like, yo, your name is, you know what I'm saying? You're not a man. You're still a woman, even though you personally in your mind feel as though I'm transitioning to a man. I don't feel that shit in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Our minds aren't intertwined, motherfucker. I don't feel the same shit you feel. You know what I'm saying? So you feel, because you personally as a person, you feel inside. First off, I don't give a fuck what you feel inside, because honestly, nobody has really given a fuck what I feel inside, and we're at work. So at work, all you come here to do is work and get the fuck out of here. So in my opinion, dressing up as a woman to come to work, because in my opinion that's a costume, that's drag. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man and you're not, and you haven't taken the whole 360 and became a woman, you're wearing drag to work. You're wearing a fucking costume. You know what I'm saying? And that should not be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to wear costumes to work unless it's fucking Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you should be coming to work as a man dressed in a fucking suit and whatever. Now, if you want to talk and act feminine, then that's different. But you know, when you come in a costume, it's confusing, as well as it's, like you say, it's distracting. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if I gotta work with you, you know what I'm saying, this may not be something that I'm used to, this may not be something that I even agree with. You know what I'm saying? So, but I have to work with you. So at this point in time, I have to put aside my feelings on you personally and do my job. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question? What you saying that, right? Like, say you don't, say like, all right, I'm just gonna try to use like real language so I feel like real language. Like, say I like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And you don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I always wear Pittsburgh Steelers shirts, right? And you get mad, right? Should I have to stop wearing Pittsburgh Steelers shirts because it bothers you? Because, wait, hold on. Because like you said, we're here to work. So whatever I wear should not affect how you work, because at the end of the day, we're here to do a job.
But once again, I'm not talking about just what you wear.
I just use that as language.
We're gonna take your
Right.
same example.
Right.
Now, if you come into work in a Steelers jersey, and I don't like the Steelers, and you have on Steelers face paint, okay, you have on the blue, you have on the black and yellow. You know what I'm saying? In work on a regular day, it's not Halloween. Is that acceptable? No, it's not. Okay, now I understand that you like the Steelers and you can wear the shirt,
hold on.
but you can't come in the camouflage.
Hold on. Now look. I went to the prior to me getting hired, I told them like, yo.
Well, let's not talk about its specifics.
Hold on. Like, prior to me getting hired, I was like, yo, I wear Steelers face paint, and they was like, yo, here at Who Gives a Fuck Co. You can do that. You can express yourself, right? And they hired me, right? Knowing in full knowledge that you wear Steelers face paint, right? Right? And you work there, right? And you have everybody knows when I come in my first day with a Steelers jersey and Steelers face paint, this is how I get down.
First off, everybody's not gonna know that, because see, that's something that you asked for specifically for you. Because everybody's not coming in and saying, hey man, I want to wear my favorite team's face paint. I'm sorry, everybody's coming in regular, ready to work. You're the one who wants to be treated differently because you feel a certain way inside about the Steelers.
Right,
and
but they said it's okay.
Yes, it is okay, but you can't say that's not going to distract everybody else working. And then once we start getting distracted, best believe if we start complaining and start saying we have issues, then they're going to tell you to stop wearing that fucking face paint.
Or just relocate you.
Right, or relocate you or something. So it's something that's going to be done.
relocate someone out of the issue.
But they show you that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's your individualism, which I do understand, and I think
that
my...
you can be, you know...
See, this is also where my
and
issue
who gives a
lied.
fuck
This is also where my issue lied.
Who gives a fuck up? That's the company.
Like, you know, when I encountered it, I got over it because you have to. Like we said, we're here to do a fucking job. It wasn't directly affecting me. I didn't have to interact with this person. It just was a distraction, which was my whole piece. But it was pretty wild because the person, you know, I heard them talking outside of, because I work in a call center, I heard them talking outside of the call center, and their voice was feminine. On the phone, their voice was deeper than me. So, like, it got to a point where there wasn't a lot of people left at work.
I think they have to be themselves. Like they can't be.
So, and that's what I'm saying. If your name though, so if you're, because we wear badges, so if your name and you have not made that full 360, I think, period, the distraction piece should be limited at work. That's why you have, most places have a dress code. I think that should also extend to hair. Some places don't let you have tattoos, or if you do have tattoos, you know, they can't be offensive. I think that should be part of the dress code. You cannot walk around with something that would be distracting. But the whole piece of, you know, the transitional piece, I think if your name is still a female, and you have to talk like a female on the phone, I don't think you should, you have to talk like a male on the phone. I don't think you should be able to come to work in a dress. That's distracting. I don't know.
I feel like it's distracting, and I feel like it's, I was about to say, it's just like when you was giving us an example earlier of overhearing a conversation that somebody was having that you didn't like. You know what I'm saying? You told them like, hey, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Shut up. I ain't trying to hear that shit. If you personally would have went,
I thought you went on this show.
Listen,
I swear to God,
it's cool. But if you would have took that, to HR, that would have been a situation. That would have been an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And once again, it was a point in time where what you did in your home behind closed doors was your business. It wasn't everybody else's business.
Exactly.
So whatever, if you want to dress up like a fucking werewolf or a vampire, whatever you want to do when you go home, do what you want to do when you go home. And
Well,
keep
I'm not
that
even
shit,
saying that.
No, I am. And
Okay.
keep that shit
I
at
agree
home
with
because in my opinion, when you start bringing it out and you start distracting other people and you start getting hate from other people and you start getting all these different issues that you didn't want, because if you would have just kept the shit between you and whoever your lover is, that would have been
I got
that.
a question.
But you
I have
just
a
telling
question.
someone they have to be miserable and
I have a
can't be
question.
themselves.
Do you
Listen,
feel like that's
So
a
what
form
if
of
your job?
discrimination?
What if your job told you, hey, you can't wear any polo,
Listen,
you can't wear anything with a logo on it, and all of
homosexuality
your
and
things.
wearing polos, two over different things.
But
No,
that wasn't
what
the
I'm
point.
saying-
What you're saying is
Hold
what
on.
you do inside of your home, the way you act, the things you do inside of your home. You love Ralph Lauren polo.
No,
So
I'm not.
if
Listen,
a
you
job
took, no, stop, because you're being too general with it.
that's
No, I'm not talking in general. See, sex and your sex.
But what
Sex,
if you're single?
homosexuality.
You can be gay and single.
Okay, of course. But
So you
once
mean
again-
they have to be straight when they come to work
Listen,
because they're gay at home?
what I'm saying is, if you come to work, I don't
that's it.
care what
Well,
the fuck you are when you come to work.
You
What
want
I
to
am
hear
saying-
it, I feel it.
But what I'm
But if
saying
you
That's
were
exactly
saying-
what. That's what
What
I
I'm
was
saying
saying.
is-
Yeah,
It
they
shouldn't
don't
be
want
like
it
that.
shouldn't be heard. You shouldn't have to hear it. I agree
You
with
shouldn't
that.
have to, in my opinion, once again.
They have to
Hey.
work, bro. They can't.
No, I'm not
they-
saying you don't have to work.
You're
I'm not
almost
saying you
you're
don't
a
have to work.
step away from
But-
saying they all have to work in the
No,
same building.
No,
like,
I'm
it
not.
just said-
Listen, bro, you're
you're
not
about
letting me finish, bro.
That's where it's
No,
leading.
it's not.
I feel
It's
like.
not leading to that. All it's leading to is certain things are private. Period. What you do sexually, in my opinion, is private. So
I
if you
get that,
sexually,
but
so
what-
sexually, homosexuality is a sexual thing. Homosexuality. Okay, so it's a sexual thing. So it should be kept behind closed doors, in my opinion. So
what
when you
part of it are you talking? Just talking about it? 'Cause
I'm
you
talking
can't
about the
tell,
whole thing.
You can't tell a flamboyant homosexual guy that he has to be straight around you at work. You can't say you can't. That's not gonna happen. If your job decided to hire a guy,
I'm not saying what people have to say. All I am saying is what you do in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom. So therefore,
What you're
if
saying
you're
is
if you're
it should
homosexual,
be down
listen.
low. That's what you.
Okay then. So if that's what
That's
you're
even
saying,
worse.
listen,
That's
bro,
what you're saying.
bro. If that's listen, all this in my opinion, if there was one point in time, there was no such thing as down low. All it
That's
was
because no one talked about
bro,
it.
listen. No, it wasn't about nobody talked about it. It was the fact of it was private, in my opinion. It was private. It was private. What you did, I don't go out and be like, yo, I fuck all these. Me personally, I'm not quite sure it's niggas that
You're
do
right,
walk
but
and
you-
but what I'm
But
just
you
saying,
hit on women, right?
I'm just saying, once again.
That's my point. You hit on
Once
women
again.
because that
Once
is
again,
you
that
are
has nothing-
sexually
once
attracted to
again,
women.
I don't go
Hold on,
out.
let me get my point. So
You're not getting
it
the point.
is because you're saying sexual things should stay in the bedroom, correct?
Exactly.
So as a straight
So me
man,
hitting on a woman
Time
has
out.
nothing to do with that.
what do you mean? Why
What
do
do
you
you
hit
mean?
on a
What do you
woman?
mean?
Because at the end of
All
the day,
I'm
you're trying to
talking
get her
about
number
is
and
sex.
fuck.
I'm not talking about hitting. I'm not talking about talking to him. All I'm talking about is what you do behind closed doors. What you and Rose do behind closed doors is your fucking everybody else.
But 90% of them don't. I think what he encountered is just you happen to be sitting between two friends and you overheard some shit. No one should have to hear that, but you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Like I was tortured.
That sucks.
Nobody
like,
had to go through
I
that.
feel
Just
bad
like
for you. Like
the
that's.
POV.
But other than that, like shit, if a nigga is the you could he doesn't have to say a word and you know he's gay. I don't think he should have to act differently anywhere else if that's who he is. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's aspects of it
Can I
that
ask a
people.
question?
Go ahead.
Now, the way, in my opinion, I definitely understand what you're saying. Well, and may I try to explain it? I think what I was saying is that back in the day, what happened behind closed doors.
Yeah, you didn't
was
talk
closed
about it.
doors.
You didn't sleep
Right,
with someone and
right,
go out and talk
right.
about
So
the
then,
shit, period.
but when you was at work, we talked about things that were like the news, politics, like straight things, like things that are acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like
current events.
We don't
Right,
have vulgar
shit.
conversations
Right, we don't
at
have
work,
right.
period.
So
straight, gay,
so
doesn't
right,
matter.
so right. Even if Bill is gay, that's Bill's business. It shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be a part of work. And if Bill isn't a full-blown person who's had a sex change, he shouldn't be able to wear ladies' clothes to work. So, in my opinion, do you feel like because there's a large section, definitely there's a large section in the country that does this, and would that be like discriminating on them by saying that they can't wear what they want? Like, if you act like, if you do this every day, right? This is how you get down every day in public. Your name is Bruce, or I didn't want to use Bruce, but your name is like Mike, and like on your driver's license, if you dress like a lady every day. You know what I'm saying? You go out in public as a lady every day, and this is how you feel comfortable.
Well, you have to use Mike legally, though.
Right, you have to use Mike legally because you have to have a sex change and change the name. I don't know, as a company like owner, like, I mean, Mike has a lot of credentials, and Mike is good at probably what Mike does, but like you said, you know what? Fuck it. If Mike is the best candidate, then I would have to hire Mike.
But I'm gonna call you Mike, even if you want to be called Michelle, because I hired somebody named Mike.
Right, I'd be like, Mike, look, I can't.
You see how fucking fucked up that is? You see how much of a controversy and
that's how the world
discrepancy
is,
that is?
though.
I
If
understand
you
how the
go out
world
and
is,
buy
but
insurance
the
right
world
now,
is like
you
that.
have to use
The world
your
is
name
like
on
that.
your
Listen,
license.
the world is like that
Yeah.
because
You go to jail if you get pulled over and it says
Right.
Michelle, but
I
you
understand
legally are Mike.
I understand
Sure.
that, but what I'm saying is, there's still countries out there that homosexuality is illegal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Period.
so what?
They don't accept it.
But that's-
We
as
do.
a-
We
as a-
accept it here.
I mean, that's
Listen,
as a
in
whole.
my
There's
opinion,
still gay people there.
There's still
though.
gay people, but it's unacceptable. You
Yeah,
keep
they're
it behind. You keep it behind closed doors.
But
In so
that's-
many words.
But
That's
that's,
not-
but that's, and but.
And these aren't third world countries, so
Right.
don't say that.
Right,
I
but what
didn't
I'm
say
saying,
it was.
no,
That's not-
but that's
that's
but that's not,
fair. That's
but
not how
that's
it
not,
should be.
that's not.
Listen,
What you're about to say, that's not how.
you're saying it's not
That's no
fair.
different than saying we're black. We have to
It's
stay.
not America.
We use that's segregation. That is still segregation.
Sexual freedom, freedom of religion, all that shit is
It might be a
America.
form of segregation. Okay.
It
but
is.
Once
It's
again,
no better
let-
than
like I said, bro,
honoring
once,
us, black
once again, once again, you weren't. I don't know. You're young, okay. But I came up to where in the era where it was looked down upon to be gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like being gay was something because
Because it's always
first
been
of
like
all-
that in the
right.
the
It's
American
always been like
community.
that. But from what
that's been
from what I've read, from what I've researched, this is some European type shit. This is some shit that white supremacy has pushed and built and tried to push into the community. I'm not lying to you. They say that a lot of this homosexual shit originated in Europe and Rome and all that shit. Okay, so as black men and women, we weren't raised and taught that shit. We were raised to be with a strong black man or a strong black woman, you know what I'm saying, and have a family. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't raised to, well, you can just have the freedom to pick. Like now they're talking about, oh, children are going to be born with no sexual identity. Even though the baby has a penis or a vagina, but it doesn't have any sexual identity until it's old enough to say what I want. What the fuck, bro? That's showing that's what I'm saying is that this homosexuality with this white supremacy and homosexuality shit has rolled over and made into it turned into nonsense to the point where now people are saying, oh, the baby was born with a penis, but I'm gonna name him a girl, or I'm not gonna name him anything until he's old enough to name this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I teach my son that he has a penis. You're a man. You're a boy. I taught my daughter when she was young. You have a vagina. You're a woman. You're a girl. You know what I'm saying? These were taught young. So when I start seeing all this homosexuality being pushed onto the culture, it pisses me off because, first off, that's not what we teach our children. You know what I'm saying? I know that's what the majority of people don't teach their children. I do know there's a lot of single mothers out there who may not be there for their children like they should be, or may feel as though, hey, he has the freedom to express himself, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. But that's why you have mothers and fathers to discipline children and tell them what is right and what is wrong. And what has always been right and wrong is, right is yours. If you have a penis, you're a man. Wrong is if you have a penis and you act like a girl. That's always been wrong, bro. It's always been wrong.
There it is. Did you see the
It's always been wrong. Real talk, it's always been wrong. Okay, so if you start coming up teaching men to act like women and shit like that, that is a fucking problem. That is a problem. That is a big problem. And men should not act like women just as well as women should act like men. Period. I hate to be like, segregation or prejudice or whatever you want to call it. It's facts is facts. Right is right. Wrong is wrong, man. What they're doing is wrong. Period. Them teaching men to try to act like women, that's wrong. Men men act like women is wrong. Women act like men is wrong. Yeah, we accept it, but that doesn't make it right. That shit is still fucking wrong.
Against whose rules?
That's what I was.
What you mean against the rules of nature? You got men and you see foxes running around, two gay foxes and shit, two gay birds flying around. Look at nature.
Dolphins.
Nature does.
Dolphins are good.
I don't think so, bro. Who told you that shit?
I watched it on Planet Earth. Dolphins are the only animals that have sex for fun. Dolphins are the only animals that will have sex with their same.
So those are the only animals ever. So therefore,
I mean,
you got
other animals.
a fucking exception.
Time out.
The gay
Time
fucking
out.
dolphins,
The biggest
bro. Come on, man.
part of it
Get the
is
fuck outta
dolphins are
here.
the only ones who have sex for fun. So no other animal is having sex to enjoy it. All other animals are only having sex to reproduce.
Right.
Humans and dolphins are the only species to have sex for pleasure.
Right. So
Every other
we're like
species-
dolphins. It's only words.
No, I'm saying dolphins and
listen to
humans
what
are
he's
the
saying.
only ones.
No, I hear what he's saying.
Dolphins
You're
and
saying we're
humans
like
are the-
dolphins.
No,
Well, dolphins are
I'm
like
saying
humans
we're the
because
only-
because we can have sex and enjoy it and be gay. That's basically what you're saying.
No,
Dolphins have
I'm
sex,
not-
enjoy it, and are gay.
No,
All
that's
I'm
what he's
saying
saying.
is dolphins
He
are
said
the
because-
only species
They're
and
not
humans.
gay.
Look,
Not
look,
gay, but enjoy it. Do sex.
What you mean?
Have sex to enjoy it.
And because
Not even to reproduce. Every other species in the world, the only time they have sex is when it's mating season and they know for a fact they're going to get a fucking
It's how to
egg.
reproduce.
They're going to get an egg. The egg might not make it, but an egg will be there, or they're going to.
Now,
whatever.
at one point in time, we reproduced a lot.
We did too, but we
Okay.
also there was
They slowed that shit down.
no. From the beginning of time, we've always had sex for pleasure.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm talking about as black African villages and shit like that. We've always had big families as well as black people.
Oh, yeah,
When you come to
you
America,
always
you don't
reproduce,
have
but-
big black families like we used to. I mean, you have some, but not a lot. And then a lot of our big black families. What you mean? You're talking about black families.
no.
Don't fuck with that. You're talking
I'm talking about black families. That's where we went.
How do we go from dolphins to black families? That's exactly where you went.
Right.
He jumped out the water, got on the boat, hit Africa.
No, I went to black families.
That's
I
what
went
I'm
to
saying.
black families for a reason, nigga. I didn't just say black families for no fucking reason. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, listen to Rodney. The point I think the young professor was making, if I'm allowed to try to clear this one up for you, as I did without, that
He just said, go Dolphins.